Having solid communication skills is crucial for grasping others' ideas and ensuring that your own thoughts are clear. How many times have you found yourself clarifying a confusing text or being misunderstood because your writing conveyed the wrong tone? When it comes to academic writing, the skill to effectively communicate and show your comprehension of subjects is just as vital. In this video, I'll share how keeping an eye on punctuation, making sentences clear and concise, and using the right tone can improve your communication skills in academic writing. First, let's look at grammar and punctuation. While it may not seem as important to know where a comma goes compared to knowing the subject you are writing about, a poorly placed comma or apostrophe can completely change a sentence's meaning. Here's an example. With a comma. Let's eat, Grandma. Without a comma. Let's eat, Grandma. You've probably seen this one before in a meme, but it's a great example of how a little thing like a comma can change from enjoying a meal with your grandmother to serving Nana for dinner. Here's another example. With a comma. I love cooking, my family, and my pets. Without the comma. I love cooking my family and my pets. Here's another example of how the presence or absence of a comma can make you seem like a loving, cool person, or a psychopath. Another common grammar mistake is subject-verb agreement. Example. Correct. The impact of climate change on ecosystems is devastating. Incorrect. The impact of climate change on ecosystems are devastating. In this example, there's a mismatch between the singular subject, impact, and the plural verb, are. It should be, is, to maintain the subject-verb agreement. Another grammar mistake that causes confusion is a misplaced modifier. A modifier is something that describes a noun or verb in a sentence. A misplaced modifier creates confusion because the intended meaning is unclear. Here's an example. Covered in chocolate, I couldn't resist eating the strawberries. The misplaced modifier, covered in chocolate, implies that the speaker is covered in chocolate. To fix this, you move the modifier after the subject, strawberries. The strawberries, covered in chocolate, were irresistible to me. Placing the modifier next to the strawberries clarifies the intended meaning. But being covered in chocolate also sounds pretty good. You've probably heard the expression, less is more. That can also be the case in academic writing. You want to find the balance between meeting the requirements of the paper you are writing, but also make it easier for readers to understand your points. Unnecessary words or convoluted sentences can lead to confusion and make it seem like you don't actually know what you're talking about. Here's an example of wordiness. In spite of the fact that the majority of participants exhibited agreement with the hypothesis, here's a more concise version. Despite most participants agreeing with the hypothesis, ... Keep it simple by choosing the straightforward language. Another thing to look for is unnecessary qualifiers. A qualifier is a word that limits or enhances another word's meaning. Here's an example of an unnecessary qualifier. The results were very significant. Here's a more concise version. The results were significant. Qualifiers like very can often be omitted without losing the strength of the statement. In fact, it may make your writing sound more confident. Streamlining your sentences without losing their meaning can really make a difference. Look at this example and see which one seems more confident. The data that was collected by the researcher. The data collected by the researcher. The verb was isn't active, so by removing it and using collected, the sentence seems less passive and overwritten. Knowing your audience is important when you try to communicate to others. You're going to use different language and tone depending on who you are communicating with. The text you send to your BFF is going to sound different than the one you send to your grandmother. And in academic writing, it is important that you are professional, respectful, and express yourself so your ideas come across. When writing an academic paper, you want to remove yourself so that it sounds more direct and objective. Here's an example. I feel like the author didn't do a good job supporting their argument. The author's argument lacks sufficient support and evidence. I feel like is vague and doesn't sound professional. You need to sound more formal in academic writing. It is about the ideas and facts, so it's okay if it sounds a little stiff because it's more about clarity and credibility than your personality. Not to mention that formal tone is what is expected, and it will show you that you understand the academic norms. You can include your opinions, they just need to be in an academic way. So, instead of using I think, you could say, from examining the findings. Another way to sound more formal is to avoid words that express value judgments. These words can create a tone that sounds emotional or opinionated. Example: words like bad, good, or wrong can mean many things, so try to be more specific by using words like dangerous, harmful, generous, corrupt, or severe. Flowery language can also make your writing sound too casual. Try to avoid adjectives if you don't really need them. Words like amazing, fascinating, wondrous, wonderful, glorious, fantastic, fabulous, cool, magnificent, shocking, unbelievable, incredible don't work in academic writing. Just remember that communication is important in academic writing just as it is in real life. You want to be able to share your ideas and discoveries as well as meet the requirements of your courses. You can see in this video that there are a few simple ways to improve your writing just by paying attention to grammar, punctuation, tone, and clarity. Thanks for watching.